Well, hello there and welcome back to Sonic Safari, a channel featuring tales of record collecting. I'm your host Marcus, a Swedish hipster lost in the fog here in San Francisco. I really enjoyed making last videos about my top 2021 vinyl finds, and today is time for episode 2, so let's have the records do the talking, shall we? Today I want to talk about why and how I purged my collection, and why this purge is a very important event for the health of my record collection. Because yes, it is that time of year. Records that I haven't listened to in a while, beware, the purge is about to begin. I assume that there are two types of record collectors. The one that keep every single record that they've ever bought, or record collectors like me, where records come and go constantly. Some records I keep forever, some I trade, and some I give away. There's obviously no right or wrong. I just wanted to talk about why I do it and why I find it essential for the health of my collection. There are mainly two reasons why I purge my collection. Number one being space. I do not have an infinite amount of space to keep my records. Before the purge, I had about 1,000 records, and I'm purging about 31 of them, so that's about 3%, which isn't that much. I will show a flip video of all the records that I'm getting rid of so you can have a deeper look. The second reason why I purge is tied to my record collecting philosophy, which is really about having a highly curated collection. Simply put, I want to be able to stand with the back against my collection, reach back and just grab one record at random and know exactly why I have that record, either because I love it or for sentimental reasons. So let's look at the results of this year's purge, shall we? If I like a record, it stays in the collection. Shocking, right? One example is this release from Big Red Machine on Jaguar from 2021. How long do you think it's gonna last? This is really a who's of indie alternative musicians. Part The National, Bon Iver, Fleet Foxes, and Sherman Etten, creating a really dynamic recording based on really solid songwriting. And Anais Mitchell, what a voice. Check out the song Latter Days if you don't believe me. So this one stays. So the next category will be upgrades, where I buy a new pressing of a version I already have. This can be because the one that I have is in bad shape, it's not a great pressing, or that the new version that came out have more songs like B-sides or something like that. Another part of my record collection philosophy is that I do not keep multiple pressings of the same record. It really comes down to shelf space again. I find that if I have two pressings of the same record, I will gravitate towards one, so having the other one really just takes up more space in my shelves. I completely understand people that collect multiple pressings of the same record, like a US versus a US, however, I do not do that. So an example of an upgrade would be this one. So this is Chet Quartet featuring Russ Freeman. It is a 1997 Japanese press on Pacific Jazz. It looks great with that OB, sounds really great, and it's just a perfect jazz record for a Sunday morning. And that also means that this placeholder copy on Wax Time will have to go. Next up, Best Of records. It's not like I have something against Best Of records per se, I just find it that I don't listen to them, as if I like the artist, I tend to have their regular releases as well. One example is this Best Of Chris Corner, just an amazing jazz vocalist. I discovered her through her version of Lullabies of Birdland. I find myself listening more to the 2014 release of This Is Chris, also on Bethlehem Records. So this one, sayonara. I hope I'm not the only one who does this, but sometimes we pick up a record that we shouldn't have because we didn't do our homework. An example being this Nick Drake release. I thought this was a regular release, so I happily brought it home. And then I realized this is actually a mix of songs from two albums, 5 Leaves Left and Brighter Lighter. I have both of these records already, so this comp, bye-bye. Of course, there will be records that you buy that you simply don't like. And the worst part are those that you wish that you really like, but you just can't. Those are probably the ones that stick around in my collection the longest, where I'm kind of hoping that I would change my mind and start to love them, but I just can't. So Coal Mine Records is one of my favorite labels. So I picked up this Delvon Lamar organ trio, Close But No Cigar, from 2018. It has all the right ingredients. It's soulful, it's funky, but I just don't like it. And I have to admit, I kind of don't like the organ. So this one, adios. This next one is a really tough one because I love Sam Records. It's a one-man shop in Paris releasing recordings made in France. Everything about the releases from Sam Record is really perfect. The quality of the sleeves, the recording, the vinyl itself, But this Billy Harper recording from 2021 from the Antibes Jazz Festival, originally recorded in 1975, really stands out from the rest of the releases. It's much more experimental, almost avant-garde, and it's just not my cup of tea. So this one kind of hurts, but it has to go. So the last category is probably the one that has the highest risk of inflating your collection from my point of view, and that is the 7. So if you rate your records from 0 to 10, I would say that 0 to 6 are pretty easy to get rid of because it's not a good record unless it has a sentimental value. And the 8 to 10 is a great to amazing record, so that one of course stay. But the 7 to me is that record that has 1, maybe 2 good songs, and the rest are okay. You listen to it once and then it goes into the collection and there it stays. Trust me, you really want to watch out for the 7. So a great example of a 7 would be this Nancy Sinatra release from 1968 on Reprise Records. So this is from a TV show featuring Lee Hazelwood, Dean Martin, and a very close relative. I wonder who that could be. I really don't know why I bought this. I think it's because You Lost That Loving Feeling is such a great song, but it's not even on here, so why? Another good example is this Kelly Finnigan release from Coal Mine Records, The Tales People Tell from 2019. I discovered Kelly as the lead singer of the Monophonics, a great band, but this release I just can't get my head around. It's not good, it's not bad, I just can't find my way to listening to it. So when I'm in the mood for blue-eyed soul, I tend to gravitate to this one instead, also from Coal Mine Records, Soul Slab, which is now on volume 3. So this one features music both from Kelly Finnigan and the Monophonics, and it's just the perfect Friday afternoon, I'm out of work type of music, so this one stays. With that, our annual purge is over. 31 records will find a new home, and I have more space to get more records. The annual purge is vital for the health of my record collection, but I would love to hear from you what you think. Okay, so that's it for today's episode. Like, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. On next week's episode, I want to take a look at a new feature from the vinyl subscription service Vinyl Me Please. A feature that has made me reconsider how I think about Vinyl Me Please and made it a really interesting source for finding new records. Until then, tack och adjö.